Resources refer to anything which serves usage or purpose. And energy is the main point of definition for the next development of humanity in conquering this world and maybe even beyond. In this session, you will be able to determine the types of energy resource, compare renewable resources and non-renewable resources, and discuss the impact of acquiring these energy resources from the environment. There are two types of energy resources: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are energy resources which can be replenished or regenerated within a human time scale, while non-renewable resources take more than a human lifetime, possibly even thousands of years, for such resources to be replenished or regenerated. What do we use these resources for? Bukod sa ginagamit ang ilang resources nito sa araw-araw na pamumuhay, gaya ng gasolina para sa mga sasakyan, ginagamit ito sa pagkakaroon ng kuryente sa bawat tahanan at mga pagawaan kung saan malaki ang demand o pangangailangan nito sa mundo. We need electricity to power almost all of the technology we use every day of our lives. We get all the power we need to work from these energy resources. Where do we get these energy resources from? Let's discuss each of these sources. Let's start with fossil fuels, which are currently the world's primary energy source. By the way, how come it's the world's primary source? Where do we use it for? We power the technology behind human transportation, production of energy, cooling and heating of buildings, and more. Fossils are non-renewable type of energy which are derived from dead organisms which are processed anaerobically through immense pressure and even heat. There are three types of fossil fuel. The first one is coal, which is a black combustible rock formed from large swamps and vegetation. This organic matter from swamps millions of years ago eventually got buried through changes in the environment. From the materials on top of it, through pressure from weight and heat through compression, these materials turn to peat, which solidifies over time, forming coals we mine for use today. Sa paglipas ng panahon, ang mga dating hitik sa buhay ay nabaon sa hukay dahil sa weathering at deposition process. Dahil dito, bumabalik sa basic composition ang mga organic materials. Naluluto ito sa matinding pressure hanggang sa huli ay maging matigas na bagay na siyang nagusbong sa Industrial Revolution dahil sa paggamit nito sa mga steam engine. The second one is petroleum, which is a naturally occurring liquid composed of complex hydrocarbons and is found in geological formations underneath the Earth's surface. Petroleum, compared to the formation of coal, is derived from the remains of microscopic aquatic organisms, which are deposited under the seabed 100 million years ago. As more debris covered it within a specific depth and pressure turns these materials into oil. Oil window refers to the specific depth, pressure, and temperature to which petroleum forms. Natural gas, on the other hand, are derived from the same material as the petroleum, but natural gas is formed at a specific pressure, temperature, and depth higher than that of petroleum. These specifics and the process which turn petroleum into gas is called thermal cracking. This explains why natural gas and petroleum may be extracted on the same area. Fossil fuel are a large part of the carbon cycle, to which deposits of it serve as containment area for carbon. However, as man discovered its potential and started to exploit and mine for these materials, carbon is released back into the atmosphere in a form of carbon dioxide. Undeniably, these non-renewable sources of energy powered humanity towards unprecedented advancement affecting all areas of living. But based on the figures of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it's a consequence that we may be returning to the old atmospheric conditions to when life may have need to adapt. Energy is a viable resource. It's essential for us to advance. That's why, as non-renewable continue to decline and vanish literally into thin air, man look for alternatives. As we learn from the past, we are looking for sustainable, clean, and renewable substitute for energy resource. Nuclear energy is one of the advancements from the 19th century. Nuclear energy may be classified based on how they work: fission and fusion, which both creates energy called nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is used much like a furnace heating up water to form steam. That steam is used to propel turbines in having a generator produce useful electric energy for man to use. However, two problems emerge from the use of nuclear energy. The fuel rod should be maintained at a stable temperature, or else it could cause a meltdown or an explosion of radioactive materials, similar to the Chernobyl disaster which occurred in the 80s. The second one is the generation of radioactive wastes. So far, these wastes are stored in deep underground chambers, but it is not a viable solution. Currently, scientists are still trying to figure out how nuclear waste should be properly discarded. Maaring ito ang dahilan kung bakit hindi natuloy ang pagtakbo ng Bataan Nuclear Power Plant sa Morong. The majority, or 41% of energy used in the Philippines comes from geothermal energy according to Energypedia. But what is geothermal energy, and how does it work? Geothermal energy is derived from the Earth's internal heat. The Earth's internal heat itself is called geothermal energy. As the depth from the Earth's surface increases, so does geothermal energy. This relationship is called geothermal gradient. From the formation of the planet, heat was retained in its depth, where crust serves as thermal blanket trapping Earth's internal heat. However, from time to time, this heat escapes from volcanic eruptions, geysers, and hot springs. But how do we utilize and take advantage of the Earth's internal heat? From shallow magma under volcanic areas, geothermal energy boils groundwater up to 370 degrees Celsius. This underground water turns to steam as it circulates through porous rocks, where it is harnessed to run turbines in a large generators, producing electricity in the process. Steam eventually is pumped back through wells as it cools down. In January 2020, according to NS Energy Business, Philippines is the third top producer of electricity from geothermal energy. Another form of renewable energy is hydropower, which generates hydroelectricity from falling water or fast-running water. Hydropower runs turbines in a dam, which allows generators to produce hydroelectricity. The generated hydroelectricity varies based on the hydropower, which is dependent on the amount of water stored in dams and the frequency of precipitation. Hydroelectricity is also harnessed from tidal waves, specifically from natural rising or lowering of tides, by allowing water to be stored during high tide and released during low tide in a barrage or a dam specifically built for the purpose of capturing water and releasing water from the ocean. The same process goes for the production of hydroelectricity, as the water runs through a turbine, usually during low tide, allows for a generator to produce electricity. Wind energy is another renewable energy source. Wind is the movement of air caused by difference in atmospheric pressure. As wind flows through elevated turbine towers with generators attached, it allows for the production of wind energy. Of course, the wind produced by wind also increases or decreases based on the wind strength. That's why wind farms are strategically constructed in a specific site. Wind farms are constructed in places with wind speeds around 6.4 meters per second, mostly along coastlines or on shore similar to the ones found in Bangi, Ilocos Norte in the Philippines. Another source of renewable energy is solar energy, which is the energy coming from the sun. Energy from the sun is collected into two means: conventional steam-driven turbines and the use of photovoltaic cells. Conventional steam-driven turbines use the heat from the sun by focusing its light and energy through mirror-like structures into a receiver, which boils water to steam, powering a turbine-connected generator, which in turn produces electricity. Photovoltaic cells, on the other hand, converts light energy into electricity at the atomic level. Solar panels or solar cells are used for this purpose. The collected solar energy is then stored in batteries, which can allow it to be used at any time, even if the sun is set or it is cloudy. And another form of renewable energy is called biomass. Biomass is similar to fossil fuel in terms of its derivatives. However, the difference lies on the time required for energy to be produced. Biomass is derived from the remains of organisms including plants, animals, wood, animal dung, agricultural wastes, and even fuel itself. Biomass is the process of breaking down materials into cellulose. This becomes sugars, which then are converted by microbes into usable fuel called biofuels. Contrary to fossil fuel, biomass or the production of biofuel somewhat balances the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. There is no increase in carbon dioxide as biofuel only recycles what already exists in the environment. These are the energy sources we come to tap in use. These are used without our conscious thought and are applied in everything we use and do in our daily life. There's more to talk about with each of these sources, especially the pros and cons. However, that's all the time we've got. In this session, we learned about the types of energy resources and the comparison between these energy resources. Thanks for watching and see you again on the next one.